You've probably seen this happen in the gaming community a lot. People say things like gaming doesn't hit the same anymore, or gaming has lost its magic. Most of them are just people growing up and losing touch with something that they were in love with when they were younger, which is just something that happens naturally and it's a part of getting older. But in some of these cases, you see that people genuinely want to enjoy something, but they go about it in the wrong way. For example, with the gaming instance, all they do is play 2K, the yearly Call of Duty, and Fortnite, and then say that gaming has lost its magic. And something similar is common in the anime community too. Great example, Joey, the anime man, quit watching anime for an extended period of time because of self-admitted burnout from watching every single show that came out and became bored of the medium and only recently got back into it. So I have devised the solution. This is my super simple 3-step guide to instantly rejuvenate your love for anime and get out of burnout. And this applies to any other medium too, like gaming. Step number 1, rewatch your favorite shows. Rewatching your favorite shows will serve as a reminder for why you got into anime in the first place. For me, I recently rewatched Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1 and 2, all 3 seasons of Tokyo Revengers to catch up for a video idea I have, the Hashira training arc of Demon Slayer to catch up for the movie Season 1 and 2 of Fire Force, and Vinland Saga Season 1 because I didn't watch Season 2 when it came out. By no means are any of these shows my favorite shows, but I watched them a really long time ago and had kind of forgotten what had happened. I thoroughly enjoyed watching them again as a refresher for the new seasons, and it really helped me get out of my rut of like, man, there's nothing to watch and just scrolling endlessly. Now, you might be thinking, what if my favorite anime is really long? I get it. Maybe you're a Naruto or a Bleach fan and reasonably so don't want to watch 700 episodes. I have 2 options for you. Option number 1 is to rewatch certain parts or arcs of the show that you thought were really good and enjoyable. This has a double effect of getting not only all the enjoyment out of the show, but also getting to skip all the horrific pacing problems that the big 3 had. Or option number 2 is to read it. Changing the medium is a really fun way to get back in touch with the series that you love. I'm currently rereading One Piece after having watched the entire anime in 2022 and can say with full certainty that the manga is way better than the anime, but that's a video for another day. The manga for most shows is a lot faster paced, especially shonen, and when you're the one reading it, it's self-paced so it doesn't take that long. You can read and finish an entire arc of One Piece in the time it would take you to watch like 10 episodes. Also, some shows have major changes in the anime that they didn't have in the manga, so if you want a more authentic, original version of the story which is more in line with the author's vision, reading the manga is a really good option. A prime example of this is Tokyo Ghoul. If you were an edgy teenager like me and liked the show when you were 15, do yourself a favor and reread it. Trust me. Step number 2, watch shows from genres you normally don't watch. Now that you've been reminded why you like the medium so much and what made you fall in love with it, to stop yourself from getting bored, you should watch shows that are very different from what you normally watch. If you're someone who really only watches slice of life or romance anime, watch a shonen that's a bit more character driven and well written like Chainsaw Man. Or if you want something a bit more brain dead but just as enjoyable, watch Jujutsu Kaisen. If you watch a lot of shonen but are annoyed by all the tropes and how predictable all the shows are, watch a seinen like Hellsing Ultimate or Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Personally, I never thought that I would like slice of life or romance anime, mainly because I'm not a fan of fan service or shows that are like very goonery. So I watched a show called The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity and it was very good. Watching shows from genres you normally don't watch can be fun because you might stumble across something you think you normally would have never enjoyed, and this will only happen if you go out of the way to watch things that are a bit outlandish. Just save yourself the time and try to avoid the slop isekais. I am telling you, they're all the same and literally a waste of time. And finally, step number 3, drop shows that you don't like. This is a sneaky one that can really kill your enjoyment, and I used to do this so much. If you're watching something that just doesn't catch your interest, forcing it down your throat isn't automatically going to make it more enjoyable. If you aren't super invested by at least 3 or at a stretch 5 episodes, skip it. If you aren't into something by the time you're halfway through the first season, nothing is going to happen in the rest of the season that would change that fact. Also, this doesn't mean that you have to drop the show entirely. Back when I watched Frieren, I got to the exam arc and the extreme change in pacing gave me whiplash so bad I had to stop watching it. But I still really liked this show. I just needed a break from this minor aspect of it that made it less enjoyable. So I stopped watching it for a bit and watched something else and came back and finished Frieren's first season and was rewarded for my patience with one of the most beautifully well animated fights in recent memory. Taking breaks can have one downside, and that is that it can make slow or boring parts of a series feel 10 times more so. But this only applies to longer shows. Back when I was watching One Piece, like I mentioned, and reached Skypiea, it took me almost a month to get through the whole arc because that show was so boring and slow I could barely watch more than 2 or 3 episodes at a time before getting put into a coma, which led to it taking way longer than it should have to get through it. Honorable mention, don't let other people pressure you into watching something or not watching something. I didn't want to include this in the main thing, but I'll add it on as an extra. In the age of social media, we are constantly bombarded with people's opinions. In the anime sphere, this is more so the case. With every new show, you have an entire mob of people calling it mid and another calling it peak. Rather than stressing yourself out about having to pick a side, just ignore the community aspect and look at the show by itself. It really is is that simple. If you think the show is interesting, watch it. And if you think it's boring and it's not for you, skip it. Oh my god, you have to watch One Piece. It's literally the best piece of fiction ever written. And if you don't watch it, you're not a real anime fan. You don't have to watch anything. That defeats the entire purpose of a fucking hobby you do for enjoyment and to wind down.